turn it over at the point of impact. You close it. You keep it open until you strike. So you want to be loose. Then don't come back fast. Hit.
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. That video you guys seen at the beginning is not really related to the discussion. I just thought that was a very fascinating video to see how these real world martial arts is translated into fighting games, and to play with a character for so long. I think it's cool to look back at the real world martial arts and the tactics and strategies. I don't know, I just think it's cool and I want to put that in there. But for this video, I have many different topics. You guys know every once in a while I'll do a video and I would find like 5, 6, 7 different topics, and I'll just go through them all sort of rapid fire. And that's what I want to do today. I have a bunch of tweets. I have a bunch, 2 polls from Reddit, and I want to just go through all of these things and just talk about it. Because here's the thing. I think it's important to look back at the past, see how things maybe could have been better, see how things maybe could have, maybe it was worse. I like to look towards the future to see how maybe we can learn from the past, but also I like to focus on what's happening now. And by doing that, I sort of get tweets, whether they're the most liked, whether they're trending or whatever. I think it's very important to focus on past, present, so that the future Tekken 8 can be the best that it can be, right? So here's some tweets. I'm just gonna go through these in no particular order, but this first one caught my eye. It says, I hope they put Snoop Dogg back in Tekken 8. 2,400 likes. Now, this is posted by Majin Obama. This is a commentator, a very popular commentator in just the whole FGC community, but really Tekken. I would like to see them do some sort of collaboration like this. I think Snoop Dogg now, his career has grown so much. Back in the Tekken Tag Tournament 2 days, yes, he was like, he was still Snoop Dogg, but I don't think he was widely accepted in, mainstream media as he is today. Now he's hosting, UFC matches, right? Logan Paul matches. Now he's, going to perform at the Super Bowl. By the time this video goes up, the Super Bowl would probably passed already, but that price for Snoop Dogg would be extremely higher than maybe it was in Tekken Tag Tournament 2. They do have the budget if they really want to put that into getting that stage or that song or something like that. Me personally, I'm for it. I just think Snoop Dogg, his price probably went up a lot because his career has grown so much. But overall, I would like to see them do some sort of collaboration with an artist. It can be, a famous rapper. It can be a singer. I just think to have some sort of collaboration like that, something in the game, would be really cool, because their OTS, their music is really cool. So to see what they were able to do with a mainstream artist would just be cool too, The next tweet, Sparky Malarkey, says, when they announced Tekken 8, no matter what changes they make, whichever character they include, one thing is certain. Yoshimitsu is going to show up wearing some crazy shit. Now, this is the thing about Yoshimitsu. Each game he has a different outfit. To my knowledge, there is no canonical reason as for him to change his outfit every game. I think like way back when he would wear the outfits that he steals, but it's like at this point, who has a squid costume that you're stealing? You know what I mean? It's like at a certain point, I don't think that excuse fits anymore, but I am interested to see what he has. I'm kind of torn between the two. Part of me wants him to have like a traditional Japanese samurai-esque outfit, but then another part wanted to be like a crazy like anime like god tier outfit. Like go get crazy with it. But the thing about getting crazy and going really insane, who knows what you may not like that crazy idea they cough up, but I just think it's very interesting. Out of all the characters, that's something that I want to do too. When Tekken 8 releases and we have the full game, whether that's in 1 year, 2 years, or whatever, I do want to go through the roster and compare every character's outfit on Tekken 8 to Tekken 7. I think that's going to be very interesting, seeing how every character evolved and progressed into the next game. So I'm really excited for the amount of content I'm going to be able to produce once Tekken 8 does get here. But outfits is a main priority, right? The next one, you don't hate Tekken, you hate that you're bad. I'm guessing that you're bad at it, but 2,500 likes. I had to include this because I think this is one of the most liked tweets. And I seen this sentiment being repeated a lot throughout Twitter and Reddit, and even some creators said it. But I do think this is true. I won't go too much into detail, but I think the developers knows this as well, which is why we're seeing easy to use characters, not just in Tekken, but all across the fighting game genre. The community, Project L, they're talking about making their game easier, but having a high skill ceiling. I think a lot of and me personally, I'm for that to a certain extent. I'm okay with them making mechanics and things easier, because here's the thing, just because you make something difficult to do does not make it good. Just because you made something super complicated to do doesn't mean that it's best. So sometimes it is cool that they make things simpler, but sometimes when it starts to hinder gameplay is when it's a bad thing. Let's move on. The next tweet is from Justin Wong. This one is very funny. Someone just told me, wait, is that Akuma from Tekken 7?
What a great honor to be able to introduce for the first time ever anywhere.
And I think this is very interesting, right? I seen the same thing posted on the Tekken subreddit about Geese Howard. I'll try to find the screenshot and put it in. 3,900 likes on this tweet, by the way. Here's the thing. I never knew who Geese Howard was. His whole identity and everything that I know about him is from Tekken 7. And Akuma is a little bit different. He's one of the most iconic fighting game characters around. But you have to imagine, Tekken 7 is the most successful and popular Tekken game ever. And you have to imagine this will be a lot of people's reactions to seeing Akuma, to seeing Noctis, to seeing Negan. Hey, that's the guy from Tekken. I just thought this was funny to add in here. Nothing really to say there. Let's move on. Mash of the North. Mentally preparing for the letdown of Harada's senile ass putting Rollback in Tekken 8 after everything under the sun has been getting it. I see Eris talking about this. Eris says the whole FGC is misleading the Japanese developers. They're making the Japanese developers, or they're pushing them to chase after rollback netcode when that really isn't the solution. Here's the thing, this is what I always said. I remember one time I explained rollback netcode wrong, and someone was in the comment sections like, oh, you're explaining it wrong, that's not what rollback netcode is. And they were going on and on and on about how I was wrong about what rollback netcode is. And my response to him, and still, is I don't feel we should even know about these things. Some of these things should just work. Why do we have to learn so much about how the game isn't working? We should just, rollback netcode and Wi-Fi is something that you shouldn't even think about, right? When I play Call of Duty or Smite or Tetris or whatever game, I don't think in the background, does this game have rollback netcode, or does this game have, like, yes, sometimes it will lag here and there, but it's not so much to where I need to learn about how it works. That's the whole thing, right? I don't know whether I agree with Eris when he says we are misleading the developers to chase after rollback netcode, but in my opinion, I just want it to work. Whether they do rollback, whether it's not rollback, whether it rolled forwards, I don't know. Just fix it, let it work, and hopefully, because all of these games have the budget. I explained it in many different videos now why these games should have the budget and the manpower to make it work. So just make it work. That's all I care about. Now, here is the two polls. The first poll, lower strength base. Who would win in a free-for-all? Who wins and why? Now, this is posted by Owuara times 100. This is a Lars main. Now, on this poll, 547 votes, you have Brian Ferry, Paul Phoenix, Claudio, Craig Murdoch, and Armor King. Now, I say without a doubt, Craig Murdoch and Armor King will get blown out the water. I think a dark horse is Claudio. I talked about it before, but Claudio was shown in a deleted cutscene or a hidden cutscene fighting with Devil Jin, and to my knowledge, I don't know if Brian Ferry would be able to keep up with Devil Jin. Paul Phoenix, he did battle Kazuya to a tie, so I can see him possibly beating out, Claudio, but in my opinion, I think it probably would go Paul Phoenix, Claudio, and then Brian Ferry. I think that is the last three that would be standing. And here's the thing too, I'm really interested to see what the non-Mishima characters do. Their power levels and how strong they are and how they stand up and address the Mishimas. I really want to see that. I want to see a Paul Phoenix versus Kazuya, a Claudio versus Devil Jin, a Brian Ferry versus Yoshimitsu, possibly Yoshimitsu versus Kunimitsu, right? I do want to see these characters really, really battle. Like, I want to see the fight. The final poll here, it says, posted by Shining Friends 1003. I think I covered one of these polls before. That name sounds familiar. Are Anna and Lei important for Tekken 8? People asked, where Lei? Where's Anna? Until they were released as DLC, but only a few people play them. 530 votes. Now, I said that before and someone corrected me and said, don't repeat things that Main Man Sweet says. Think for yourself, basically. And I still have it here. Hold on, let me find. Okay, I still have the popularity spreadsheet, and I want to quickly see where Lei and Anna actually is. Okay, so Anna is 40th, right next to Nina, right next to Yoshimitsu. Lei is 44, right next to Zhao Yu and right next to Zafina. So they're not too popular, but also they're not extremely horrible, right? Anna's above Nina, which I say put Anna in the game over Nina, but I also think Lei is just such an iconic fighting style, and I get why the community wants him there. But if no one's going to use him, you really have to just leave him out. The same thing with Zafina and Ganryu. If no one's going to leave them, you really just have to kick them to the curb. It sucks. But when there's you have characters that people will play, you put them instead of just having characters that people don't play, but maybe they like to play against, or maybe they like to just look at. I don't know. 530 votes. 246 says yes, 284 says no. So the reason why I wanted to talk about this poll is basically because Anna and Lei, it's not looking too pretty for them. Even though it's kind of a close poll here, it still comes out to no. And it makes you wonder, will they be in Tekken 8? Now, a solution that I always say is, even if they're not playable on the roster, they can still show up in the background. I know Mortal Kombat does this. I can't remember the guy's name, but there's a character who is like a centaur, half horse, half person. That character is always walking around in the background to fights. He's in the background when they're talking. Just do the same thing. Have Bruce, Anna, Lei standing around in the background. So even though they're not playable, we still know that character exists, right? That character hasn't fallen into a void of forgottenness, right? I have a comment here. The top comment says, I totally despise playing against any Lei, but man, his gameplay is just too unique and he has the right to be in the next game. The next one, I mean, why are they not in the base roster in the first place again? Anna is definitely, at least in my opinion, far more interesting character and gameplay wise than Nina, and definitely far more interesting than the newcomers except for maybe Claudio. Okay, yeah, I think I will agree with that. Gigas, Katarina, Lucky Chloe, Claudio, I think I would agree with that. Same thing with Lei. The character is too interesting to be left out, and the fact that they're making him as a DLC is weird. I found him far more interesting than someone like Leo. That's the thing. Leo has to go. I've been being nice about it and like, oh, maybe she won't be here, maybe, but Leo really has to go. Leo, if Lei's gone, Leo better be gone too. The one thing I don't get is why they don't at least add some. Okay, so I'm done reading this, but I don't get it. People say the character is interesting and that's why they want him to be there. When you're talking about a roster of like 30 people, interesting don't cut it. If the character's not going to be played, get them out of there. That's why I'm okay with them having 2 kings. That's why I'm okay with them having Jin and Devil Jin, because those characters are popular. I don't want them to put someone there who's just interesting. No, put someone there who's actually going to be played. That way you don't have people complaining that their character isn't in the game. You don't have this big community saying, why isn't my character in the game still? If it's interesting, yeah, cool. Put that in the story, have them, do some fighting in the background. But other than that, get rid of them. That's my opinion, at least. But that's it. That's all I really want to say. Just a little recap of everything that's been going on. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.